Hi, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good.
Thanks for having us in your store today.
Well, thank you for inviting me to be on your podcast. It's great.
Yeah, of course. So introduce yourself, let everyone know like who you are and about your business.
Sure. I am Maria Vraniak. I have been in business for 1 year. May 26th, we're starting our 1 year anniversary celebration. And I started in a mobile boutique before that. And that was really fun. I thought I just wanted to be online, and I had so much fun shopping that I just jumped in, and here we are. So that's how we started.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm. You have such a beautiful store. I love it, and I cannot wait to shop after we're done.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been a lot of hard work. It looks, when I was in corporate, I thought, I just want to get out. This is great. I'm going to do something for myself. And then the store came, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of fun, and it's really rewarding. I think the biggest thing for me that's rewarding is just making the relationships that we have.
Yeah.
So that's probably the biggest reward that I think we've gotten from being in business.
Yeah, that's awesome. What was the turning point like for you when you were kind of working? I think there's a lot of people that have these aspirations, like they work a job and then they don't know when to make the jump, and maybe they never do. What was the turning point for you where you kind of decided you were ready to jump in?
That's a great question. So COVID.
Okay.
And you guys have probably heard that a million times before, right? It's COVID. But my daughter was living with us at the time, and we were home sitting on the couch, and I thought I needed a hobby or something. I was in corporate. I was a national account director for a generic pharmaceutical company, was always on the road. And then when COVID hit, we stopped traveling, and I thought, I didn't know if getting on the road was going to be something that we were going to be able to do again. So I looked at my husband and said, I have to do something. What should I do? I'm going to go back to school. Maybe I'll become a realtor, because you think that that's easy to do, which it's not. And he said, no, you should go back to school and get your degree in fashion merchandising because you love it. You've always wanted to open something up. You never knew what it was. I started at a wedding venue. Then I was doing a coffee shop with a friend of mine. And then when he said that, I was kind of like, yeah, that's a really great idea. And so I went to Cornell and I did their online classes for 2 years and did markets and home parties and online things like that to see especially here how the market is and was there really a need. You know that there's a need because there's nothing for women. There is Revive Consignment, fantastic consignment, fantastic store for women. But there's nothing here on Main Street. And I thought, well, what better place to be? And everybody was saying with the pop-up, we need you here, we need you here. So I said to my husband, what do you think? I mean, if we're going to do it, the space opened up. Now would probably be the best time to do it because we had the opportunity for this space. And here we are.
That's amazing. So how did you start? How did social media play into this? Because we love that aspect of current day businesses. Did you kind of were you doing the pop-up events? How were you reaching out to people? Did that kind of help you gain customers and a following where you were kind of going all over and people were seeing, your stuff? And
yeah, for sure. So I think social media today plays a big part in a lot of businesses, especially for somebody like me who was starting out in the mobile boutique. The only way for them to really find me was really to see where I was online and what markets I was doing and whether or not they were in the area where they could follow us to. So social media played a really big part of that. Rice's Market. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Rice's Market in New Hope.
No.
So it's a market that's opened every Tuesday and Saturday. They're open literally from 7 to 1. They're open from March till December. And I had the opportunity to take my trailer there. So I was there most Saturdays beginning the 4th of July weekend, and it was fun. And so that started people really knowing me. And then I was doing other markets where people didn't really know us. And then that's how I started to gain our followers. But definitely being here in town has been incredible for followers. And I also have to give a shout out to the other small businesses, the other realty. Michelle Klug Realty is fantastic. She came in and did a collaboration with me. And I just think working with other small businesses and collaborating with them, you get their followers, they get your followers, and I think it's just a great thing.
It is, and it's so nice to meet other business owners because it is such a tough field to be in. It really takes a lot of grit, and to have other people that understand what you're going through and to build a relationship with other business owners is so special because and just like having equal support for one another, and just knowing that like, oh, they have my back, and like with open doors you can come and, you know, display your stuff. And I think that's so nice. I love when other businesses do that, and it's really just out of collaboration and friendship.
Yeah, I mean, being the new girl on the block here was probably one of the scariest things for me, because I thought, oh my gosh, I'm coming into a town that's been established for years. I remember way back in the day, my parents used to take us here for dinner at a restaurant that's been long gone for a very long time, more toward the Bridgewater side.
Okay.
But I was like, well, I'm going to be the new girl on the block. Everybody knows everybody, but they have welcomed me. Penny at Hungry Hound, she's fantastic. I mean, she's been so great. Kai, my neighbor, has been really great. Everybody really has been fantastic with just welcoming us into the town. And for not a minute did I ever feel like the new girl on the block. So that's been really nice.
That's awesome. Yeah. So tell us about your store. Where do you get your inspiration from? Where does the name Osprey Lane come from? Like, kind of give us the whole background. Like, take us back to when you were starting to plan. Like, how am I going to fill this space?
Sure. So when I first started to think about filling a space, it was only a 12 by 8 foot trailer. So that was very different than filling this. This is like about 1,200 square feet total, with the storage area in the back, which isn't big, but it's there. And I just really had a passion for shopping, I guess. I mean, I'm guilty, right? But it's different when I'm shopping for everybody else and not so much shopping for myself, because I can't buy something, although I may love something, that doesn't necessarily mean that our clients are going to love it. And so that's where it becomes really difficult to shop. It's draining. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's fun, right? Don't get me wrong, but it's draining because, like, you're not going to get everything for everybody, and not everybody's going to walk in here and love everything we have. Some people might not like anything that we have, and that's an understanding that I had to have going into this. So back when I originally started, my husband and my daughter got me a session with like a branding team.
Wow.
And so they helped. They sat, we talked about like what my dreams were, my visions were, what my market was going to look like, and where are we going to be? And they put together my whole brand package.
Whoa.
That's incredible.
Yeah, they were fantastic. But how I got the name was driving in Florida by my dad. I wanted a name that meant something. So when I wanted to open up the store, I wanted it to be about women and women empowerment, and the fact that we were sitting home for a long time during COVID in sweatpants and leggings and things like that, and maybe not feeling so good about ourselves after a while. And so it was really important to me for people to come in here and feel really good about themselves. So I wanted the name to be powerful. And I remember my husband being like, what about chic? What about your chic? What about, and I'm like, no, none of that is going to work. So I was in Florida driving by my dad, and there's a town called Osprey. And I was like, oh, wow, Osprey Lane, Osprey Boutique, Osprey. And I texted my family in a chat, and I was like, what do you guys think about Osprey? I looked up the word, and it was like this big, powerful, magnificent bird, sees its way through the darkness, brings people back from healing, helps people find their way. And I thought, that's it. So here we are at Osprey Lane, and it kind of just had a ring to it for me.
It does.
And the more I look at the bird, and the more I'm not a bird watcher, so it's kind of weird, but the more I look at the bird and I think about the magnificence that it has. And I have the picture up there of Maya Angelou, and the last sentence in it says, something about the way you make people feel. And I don't care if somebody comes in here and just walks through and doesn't buy anything, but it's real important to me that me and my other stylists make them feel warm when they come in here. So Osprey is what it is.
I love
That's
that.
amazing.
Yeah. And there really is a lot of talent that comes along with curating a store, like even just designing it and how you display things. Like in my mind, I'm like, oh, it's easy. You just get a store, but it's like, no, like there's a lot of thought that goes into it. And your space is so welcoming. It's so warm. I love all like the natural, like green and woods. Like it's really nice. And
thank you.
It takes a lot of like just creativity, which is awesome that you're able to channel into like having a store.
It's hard. Like when I first started my vision board for the store, I wanted to mimic the trailer. And the trailer was more like white with golds and things like that. And then when I looked at this big space and I thought, wow, white and gold, it's going to be a little overwhelming. And my daughter and my 2 kids are very much a part of my business. So I refer to them a lot. But my daughter was with me at market, and we walked down the steps and we came across a retail furniture store, which is where I got all the furniture from, which I saw it and I called the lady who was making my wall racks and I'm like, stop, please don't do the gold. I want to switch it over. And sometimes I walk in here and I'm like, maybe it's a little bit too dark, but then I look at my trailer and it being white and gold and like, it would have never ever worked. Would have never worked. So it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work with putting the stuff on the racks and what's going to catch your eye when you walk in here and what's not going to be pleasing. And, you know, is it when somebody walks in the store and they don't get anything and they do like a loop? What did I do wrong? Yeah. But it's not necessarily what I did wrong. It's just maybe there's nothing in here for them, and that's okay.
Yeah. And it's kind of like what you were talking about before we started the podcast, which is like there's so much of you trying different things to figure out what actually works. Like you can't just Google like, where should I put this store in, like with this shirt in my store for it to get the most sales. Like some things you have to do like your own market research, just try different things, move it around and see. So I think that's really interesting. Can we circle back to like what you're talking about with your inspiration? Because I'm kind of curious, like how do you balance picking out things that you really like with things that like you think people will like, if that makes sense?
It does. It makes a lot of sense. So I have to say I do make sure that I like everything, only because I have to look at it if it's sitting on the rack. But I know for me, like those pants over there, although they're adorable and I absolutely love them, I can't wear them because I know what I can and can't wear. So I have to just go into it and think about my market, which actually has changed. Because when I came into the business, I thought my market is between 35 and 55, give or take on either side a little bit. Okay. I have high school girls come in. I have college girls come in. I have older people. My mom is 81. She'd kill me if she heard me say she was 82, but she's 81. She shops here. So it's really just, there are some things that I look at and I'm like, that might work for the younger crowd because they're going to come in here with their parents. They're going to come in here with their mom. And, that might work for the other crowd. But the other thing is we're inclusive. We're all size inclusive, which means that we go up to size 3X. We go up to size 20, which to me brings me back to the Osprey and to making people feel like they matter. Everybody matters. I don't care what size you are. You could be petite, you could be tall, you could be curvy, you could be a size 2, you could be a size 18. I think everybody matters and everybody wants to look good. So that's really important to me. And it's very hard to find clothes for curvy women. Really? And they know that too because they don't want to go out in all these bright colors and just the feedback I've received is I feel dumpy. And I feel like I can't be stylish. And so we don't have everything in a 1X, 2X, 3X, but we have a lot that somebody can come in here and get an outfit.
That's awesome.
Really great.
Yeah.
Did you have something to say? Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
I had a question in my mind and I was like ready to say it and it just lost me. I remember.
You got it?
I'm so curious about like trend research because there's so many trends. There's so many different styles. Like everyone has their own individual style. How do you where do you look to for inspiration as far as like what you kind of want to bring in? Because I mean, just in general, like I shop a lot in boutiques and stuff like that. And there's a lot of boutiques. It's like a known thing. There's probably a boutique in every town. So how do you kind of set yourself apart where like you want to have stylish things, but you don't want to have the same exact thing as every boutique, in New Jersey?
So I think that's a great question. So I'll start with the trending. I belong to an organization called the Boutique Summit, the Boutique Hub. Nice. And it's powered by 2 incredible women that have been in the boutique industry. So they provide us with trend reports. Wow. So they send us reports and say, these are your trends, these are your colors and things like that. I have a particular color palette in here. Mine's more muted tones. You'll see a pop of color every now and again, but we're muted pretty much. Wintertime, we stick with the same colors, but we just go a little bit deeper. Okay. So that group has been extremely helpful for me in not only the trending, but other ways. And we're always a season ahead. So I'm already shopping for fall holiday 2024.
That's crazy.
And I'm going to market in June, and I will be shopping for spring 2025, which is weird, but they're all on trend. So how I am able to keep different is I try to find brands that are zip code protected. So nobody can cover my brands within a certain mile radius from me, which is very, very helpful for, but not only me, but for the other boutiques that are around.
Yeah.
And it keeps us, one of the things that the boutique hub explains to people is like, it should be community over competition.
Totally.
Like we're all in this together.
Yeah.
There's other boutiques around and maybe they don't have the same style as me, but I would always send them. Like I just met a woman who was at a birthday party or a wedding anniversary that I was at, and she has a boutique up in Warren. I have no problem sending somebody up to her because I think that it just builds community. But it's hard, but it's good because some of the brands do keep us separate, so I don't have the same thing as the boutique next door.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And
That's
you guys
great.
probably have so much different stuff. Like you might have things in here that are not for a certain customer, but vice versa. Like she might have a customer in there that like she doesn't really have something for them, but maybe she knows that you have it here for them.
Yeah.
So that's really great to be able to like share that and give like the customers the best experience that they can get.
Yeah, and I mean we love that. I mean, people come in here all the time looking for like mother of the bride dresses, dressy dresses, because we're the only one here. And I send them down to Hillsborough because I know that there's more of a dressier, elevated boutique down there that caters to that. And I just think it's friendly competition when you can refer people elsewhere. But
Totally.
the trend report pretty much helps us. I take a good look on what people wear on the street. And then I also pay attention to what people ask me for when they come in. You know, a lot of things jeans have changed so much, whereas a few years back it was only straight. And then people wanted only skinny, and we went through that whole big skinny phase. And then you can attest to this. And then we went to this high rise, which is, I never thought I'd get on board with. And now I love it. And we still have people looking for super low rise jeans, but it's really not what's trending.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to get.
Yeah.
So we listen a lot to what our customer says, and we carry that over from trend to trend.
That's awesome.
Year to year, I should say.
Do you travel to a lot of trade shows?
Yeah. So 2 are my
Okay.
primary ones. I go to Magic New York, which obviously it's in New York, but it's also in other places throughout the U.S. It's just convenient for me. It's a 2 to 3 day event. So I go there. There's a lot of educational seminars that happen there too.
Oh, cool.
And then I go always every year to Dallas Market, Apparel Market, because the Boutique Hub has a summit, and I attend that every year. And I've learned that a lot of my brands that I'm like really like married to are either in PA. My rep is either in PA or in the city.
Oh, nice.
So although I love to go to Dallas and I love to go to New York for the trade show, there might be a time where I don't have to, because it's nice to have like those personal appointments.
Totally. Yeah.
Where you don't have to, when you go to those markets and those trade shows, you're fighting with all the other boutiques to try and like, not fighting, but like try and get your order in and to do all your
course.
things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I can't imagine how hectic it is. Probably a massive convention center.
It's at
like
the
very
Jacob Javits.
overwhelming.
Oh,
my
in New
gosh.
York? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's massive.
So it's big, and it's 2 floors. So there's like an elevated floor up at the top, which is more like brands like Z Supply and Rag and Bone and things like that. And then down below is the brands that like I started with, and someday I wish to be up there. But you know, for now I'm super happy with what we have.
That's awesome. I don't know if we touched on this yet, but any like learning lessons, because that's kind of what we like to put out there, is like it might look glamorous on the outside and how nice like this person gets to own a boutique, but I'm sure you've had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations with opening up the store, even just like anything that you've had to overcome with owning a business. And if you could share like any experience you've had with that.
Yeah. So for me, staff is probably the biggest thing. I I am a delegator, but I'm not like I've managed, but I've never managed a team of 9. Like we have 9 stylists, which is great, but they're all part-time, which is also great. Who can work Mondays or just Tuesdays or just Wednesdays, which is awesome because everybody can get a little bit in there. But I think scheduling and staffing has probably been one of my greatest challenges, that if I could say somebody else manages and take this from me, that would be great, because I don't want to be blamed when somebody's not getting enough hours and another person is. The other thing that I've learned to kind of get a grasp of is, if I'm not an expert at it, I need to pass it on. And that was probably really the biggest challenge for me, because in the beginning I was like, I'm a one-man show. I'm opening my store. I have a small team of 4, but I'm still a one-man show, and I'm doing social media, I'm doing pictures, I'm doing everything. And there was a point where my husband and I were like, you just can't. So social media, I had to like pass on. I have a really great person who does that. And then I finally like got one of my friends who's a great photographer to take my pictures. So I think the biggest thing that I can say is, if you're starting a new business and you are not good at something, but you know somebody who is, that can maybe help you, let them help you. Yeah. Because then it's going to allow you to kind of concentrate on the things that you really are good at. And so I think that's probably the biggest thing I can say.
Totally, yeah. And I feel like when you think about opening up a boutique, you don't think about all those background things all the time. Like you think about the fun things of like ordering all the clothes. At least that's what I would think of if I had a boutique. But it is hard, because like you might not be a natural like boss. Like it's a hard shoe to fill sometimes, and you have to wear so many hats as a business owner. You have to be there when, to fill in, you have to do all the back end stuff, you have to be a customer service person. So it's like there's so much to do, and sometimes it's like overwhelming. And like you said, it's great to be able to pass those things on, but it is difficult to like let go of that control, because it's like it's your baby. It's
my baby.
Yeah.
And I have a fantastic staff. I mean, they're all so great. Nobody minds really working, I don't have that issue at all. They're fantastic. It's just that, me, it's like, I don't want to say, well, I'm giving you this amount of time and I'm not giving you. So I have gotten them to be a little more involved in the business and a little more involved with like helping me with the back end and things like that, which I think shows them that, they are involved, and there is a place for them here. I've even taken one of my stylists that wants to get into fashion merchandising. She's a junior. I took her along with me to market. Wow. So it was a great experience. I wanted her to really dig in and see if that's truly something what she wanted to do. And she said it is. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, I try to really keep them involved.
That's great.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say something.
No, nothing.
So we like to do some rapid fire questions.
Sure.
So we do this every episode. We did not send them to you. It's just like a fun way to like just kind of get some questions off.
Okay.
You wanna read them? You want me to read them?
So trick questions.
Cool.
No, I'm
just
kidding.
fun.
I'm kidding. Yeah.
Some might be a little bit more deep and some are more fun.
Okay.
Maybe some tricky ones. We can't make any promises. What is your favorite item in the store currently?
My favorite item in the store, I am probably going to say there is a dress over on that rack there that reminds me of Summer and Lemonade. It's a pink and white dress, and I call it my lemonade dress. I can't wear it because I got my color analysis done, and those are not my colors, but I was going to wear it today, and then I was like, that is not in my color wheel. But that's probably
Where did you have that done? I've been wanting to do that so badly.
There's a woman who is local. She's in Mendham, and it's House of Color. If you follow her on social media,
I'm definitely going to.
She's pretty booked, but she does have like appointments here and there that she gets cancellations, and it takes about an hour and 45 minutes. Her name is Sandy. She's fantastic.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting that done.
She does your makeup. So like I know for a fact I was wearing the wrong blush and the wrong lipstick, and she does the whole thing. It's very, very interesting.
That is so
But
cool.
that is not, that's too white for me. I can't do white, but it's one of my favorites.
Is this like a test or?
Correct me if I'm wrong. They basically put like sheets of colors like right here, and I'm assuming there's a mirror.
There's a mirror. It's natural light. Like you're sitting in a room, no lights are on, so you're just the natural sunlight, and they drape all like, and you find out if you're winter, spring, summer, or autumn. I'm autumn, but then within that, there's 4 other categories. I'm actually a dark autumn.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And basically it helps you determine like what colors best suit like your skin tone, your hair color, your eyes, like what
brightens you.
Yeah. Because there's some colors like you wear it and you don't really necessarily, sometimes you don't feel good and you're like, oh, maybe that's why I don't feel good because it's not like my color kind of thing.
So I can't do black and white, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah. For me, my darkest color would be a deep chocolate. And I'm okay with that.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm
You should
okay.
have her work out of here and tell everyone when they're done what to pick out off the shelf.
So I'm trying to get her to come here in
That would be
September.
such a
Yeah,
God,
just
yeah.
to, not even to be able, because it takes her a long time and she needs to be in her studio.
Oh, okay.
But just to be able to like talk and tell what she does, and then maybe you do want to sign up with her and make your own appointment. But she's incredible.
That's
That's
so
so
cool. House
cool.
of Color. I have to remember. To
It's
follow her.
COLOUR.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's on Instagram.
Cool.
Cool.
Awesome.
If you could open another store location, where would you open it? Anywhere in the world?
Oh, anywhere I would
Anywhere,
probably open it in Florida because I
Nice.
love. My father lives in Florida, and
Oh,
so
nice.
I would love to be able to just go and spend more time down there.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Where in Florida?
He's in Venice. He's on the West Coast.
Nice.
Okay.
But my son goes to school in Kentucky, and he told me
Okay.
that there's a big need for a boutique in Kentucky.
Mhm.
If I could do a chain of Osprey Lane, I probably would. I mean, my
Yeah.
husband would be all for it. Yes. I'm very content with my space here, so I want to like get this perfected before I dig in anywhere else.
Would you
But,
consider doing like franchising?
probably my husband. He's the business guy. He's a CFO, so
Oh, okay.
he's the business part of the business.
That's
Oh,
a good
cool.
person to have
Yeah.
as like a partner.
Yes. He's the back end money guy.
Yeah, I probably resonate with him. I'm a CPA, so
Oh,
yeah.
well, there you go. Yeah.
What's the coolest place you've ever traveled, or maybe your favorite travel destination?
So I'm gonna have to say, gosh, it's a toss up. I've been to Switzerland and Ireland both.
Ooh, okay.
Um,
We've been dying to go to Switzerland.
you've been where?
We've been dying to go.
Go,
I had a buddy
yeah.
that lived there for like the first 7 years of his life.
Yeah.
He's like, oh my God, it's amazing. You have to go there.
So the last company that I worked for, I had a customer who was in Switzerland, so we had to go twice a year. So we
Oh,
went
cool.
to Bern. So if you go, they have the best chocolate, they have the best chai lattes. It's beautiful. I would probably say Switzerland for me.
Cool.
Yeah.
I really want to go. Yeah.
What's your favorite place to eat in New Jersey?
My new favorite place is a restaurant in Lambertville called T54.
Ooh.
Did you ever go?
No,
So
we
it's
just went to Lambertville though.
Yes. So it's not on Main Street or Bridge Street.
Okay.
It's
Oh.
kind of like when you're coming in off of Route 179. You have to
Okay.
make, before you get to the light, to make the right to go on Main Street or
Okay.
Bridge Street in Lambertville. It's like a hairpin turn.
Okay.
It's literally right there. We went there just to meet my daughter because she lives out in Newtown, and it was kind of like midway. And we loved it that we went back for Mother's Day. It's probably my new favorite.
Oh, very
place.
cool.
Yeah.
Let's check
Alright.
that out.
Cool.
And I will say Wolfgang's is probably my second.
Yeah.
It's great there.
Yeah, we went there once. It was a treat.
Yeah.
Describe your store in one word.
Warm.
Who is the most famous person you've ever met?
Emmett Smith.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a football player.
He's a
Really?
football
He is?
player. Yeah. I'm
You
a
a
big
Cowboys
Dallas Cowboy fan. And and I went to a conference for the company that I used to work for. And when you go to these like conferences and their trade shows, they have like some big people. So we met Scott Hamilton and things like that. But Emmett Smith was kind of like my my star. I was starstruck for sure.
That is
Absolutely,
really
for
cool.
sure.
That's
Yes.
really cool.
Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram.
Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Middle of the day. I like my peace in the morning, so I'll get up at 6:30, but I just like my time in my room by myself. And at night I usually fall asleep just like at 9:30 on the couch. So I don't know, I think I'm a middle of the day person.
Nice.
What's the worst fashion trend you've ever embraced? And this can go back to like when you were 12.
Probably like and I know it's coming back because I see it, but like the plaid blazers. I remember my mother dressed me in a god awful plaid blazer when I was younger. But I mean, plaid is in. It's back. Bell bottoms. I mean, ripped jeans, bell bottoms. It's all coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say that I think that that's a crazy, but the plaid. Some of the plaid crazy blazers are, yeah.
It's so crazy how some things like come back.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting.
Like this terry cloth right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Somebody came in the other day and they're like, this reminds me when I was a little kid. I'm like, well, we have it in green too. So if you want to go way back. Yeah.
That's funny.
And then finally, what is your biggest long-term goal for your business?
I want to be successful enough that I can hand it down to my kids and they can carry it on.
I love that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's my goal. My daughter's a textile engineer, so she's in the industry in a roundabout way.
Mm-hmm.
And my son is he just finished his first year in college and decided to switch his major to business management. So it's here, and they both are very much involved with the business. So I would like to just get it to a place where I could kind of step back and just tell them to run with it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Very
That's
cool.
awesome.
And then we'd like to just kind of as like a closing question, any advice that you would give to someone, and it could be like in this industry or just in general, that is looking to start a business, whether they're younger or older, like what is just something that you want to leave as like a final note?
Do it. Do it. Follow your dreams. I think I went in head first. I probably, if I could go back, I would have probably, I mean, not slowed down because I'm happy where I am today, but maybe slowed down and did things just a little bit differently. But I have people coming in here and they're like, gosh, I wish I would have opened up a bookstore. I'm like, do it. Find a space and do it. Figure out how to do it. It takes a village for sure. I think that that's really important. I think you have to have the right people behind you, and my support system's been fantastic.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
And then just kind of give us all the info, Instagram, website, where are you located, just like all the info for people can find you.
Yeah, so they can find us on Instagram at one big long word, Osprey Lane Boutique. They can find us on Facebook with the same, Osprey Lane Boutique. We are on the web at osprey-lane.com. We are on Pinterest. It's, again, Osprey Lane Boutique. And we just started TikTok.
Cool.
Again, Osprey Lane Boutique. So they can find us here. We're here 6 days a week. We are closed on Mondays for right now, but stay tuned. We might open up again on Mondays. We have our trailer that we're still doing markets.
Nice.
And we do a lot in Lambertville. So we still do our markets. We do private parties. We have private events here in the store.
Oh, cool.
So you can like reserve the store for like a girls' night out, a bachelorette party, and things like that. So we're here wherever people need us to be. We're here.
Awesome.
How does the trailer work? Is it like, does it just store your stuff and you lay it on a table, or do you like walk in and there's like stuff?
It's a boutique.
Yeah? That's so
That is
cool.
so
Yeah, there's a
sick.
fitting room in there. There's racks in there. There's a ramp that pulls out, and then there's another rack that goes out there. We usually put a bunch of stuff outside and shelving and stuff like that. And
Wow.
the fitting room is in there with a curtain and a mirror. And yeah, it's my baby.
That's
I will
very
never
cool.
give it up. My daughter runs it for me right now, so she does all those events.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And just so everyone knows, we're in Somerville. Just so if you are looking to come in store and shop, you guys are in Somerville. That's awesome. And then we love to ask, do you have anyone that you can recommend that you think would be great for us to like share their story, whether it's local or it could be anywhere in New
Did you
Jersey?
ever talk with Spotted Leaf or Turf Surf?
No.
They're fantastic. So
Cool.
they were actually huge advocates for me being here. Turf Surf had me out on their patio a handful of times trying to test the market to see. We literally took up their whole patio. So it was very gracious for them to do that. They're fantastic. Small business. Byron and Mackenzie are the owners, and they're fantastic. And then Spotted Leaf is directly next door to them.
Okay, cool.
Sam and Matt. Sam has Sam did a lot to help me get into this space too, with kind of like reaching out to the right people. So they're
That's
two
great.
fantastic, very small businesses that are very mighty. So
Awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah.
We'll have to reach out to them. That's great.
the other one that you might want to try and talk to is Revive.
Okay.
So Brittany, she's the owner of Revive. They're on Doughty.
Nice.
She's a woman's consignment store, but
Okay.
it's not like any other consignment store that you would ever go in.
That's awesome.
She's fantastic. It's clean. It's organized. She's fantastic. She's got hacks for all different kind of things you can put on. So you may be able to reach out to her. They're behind Casa Luna.
Very cool.
Oh, cool.
All right,
Okay.
we'll have to
Yeah.
connect with her as well.
Yeah, for sure. She's fantastic. And they're closed on Mondays.
Okay.
So
All right. We'll have to come by another day.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having us. This was a lot of fun. We were very excited to hear your story. We've been in your store a few times, and it's always been a great experience. So we're excited to be back finally.
Thank
sitting
you.
down, talking with you.
Yeah, it was great getting to chat with you guys. And thanks for coming on a Monday, because it's easier when the store is closed.
Yes.
But if you guys need anything else, just let me know.
Of course.
Cool.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Yes. All
Thank
right,
you.
Bye.
Bye.